You see it everywhere now. Paintings, poems, screenplays, all made by machines. One Redditor wrote, "I spent 10 years honing my craft. Now people use ChatGPT and get applause overnight." On the flip side, someone else commented, "AI gave me the courage to create when I thought I wasn't good enough." So, is AI ruining creativity, or redefining it? We dived into Reddit, Quora, Twitter/X, YouTube comments, and industry articles to unpack what creators really think. Here's the internet's verdict. AI tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and DALL-E have made it easier than ever to write stories, make art, compose music, and even generate voices. To some, it's a creative revolution. To others, it feels like cheating. Where's the line between tool and replacement? Can something created by code have soul? Or are we witnessing the death of true originality? Now let's see what people are saying on the internet, starting with Reddit on subreddits like Artist Lounge, Art, and others. One user wrote, "My opinion. AI ruined and killed the creativity aspects of art. Illustration is basically dead. It's over for any illustrator, any designers who has a desire to create something creative during his life. It takes seconds for AI to create an illustration, for example, made of vegetables, while in the past you needed a lot of preparation to create something like this. Photography illustration is basically dead. There will be no second Walter Wick, for example, a photographer, who created award-winning illustrations made of toys that required a decent knowing of composition and colors theory to create them. There will be no illustrations made of objects around your life. Coloring books are dead too. You can create a coloring book in a second. Create an image of a castle in Midjourney, then transfer it to paper using, for example, a black thick marker. Then scan the image to computer, and it's over. If you are a decent artist, no one will notice Nero artifacts, and you can sell easily. But in the past it was, well, much harder to do something like this, especially with really creative black and white illustrations. Especially if there were well-detailed landscapes. Any other experimental art dead too. You can create an abstract drawing by using AI. Not really a tragedy here, but still. Also, any illustrations that required a clever pattern is dead. Pattern art was probably the first type of art that neural networks could replicate almost ideally. Basically, all history of illustration, creative photography, and many other creative fields is lost now. There will be no history of creative artists because everyone can do this in 1 second. And even if it will be infested with fake artists and illustrators, designers, and other who will mimicry AI work into their own. You will have a hard time to write a history of art creativity after 2022. Thoughts? This perspective really highlights the deep concern many artists have about AI's impact on creativity. It's not just about making art faster, it's about the meaning behind the process, the effort, and the personal touch that AI can replicate. But on the other hand, could AI be a tool that expands creative possibilities rather than replaces them? Maybe the future of art isn't just about who makes it, but how we choose to engage with it. Curious to hear what others think. Can traditional and AI art coexist, or is something truly being lost? Another user added, 75% of my creative team in my previous ad agency was laid off due to AI. It started with Stable Diffusion and ChatGPT, sold to us as just a tool to help you create things faster, not a replacement. Then we started replacing copywriters, video editors, animators, voice actors, graphic designers, illustrators. I was one of the core people driving the AI initiative in that company at first. It was exciting at first. After all, it was only there to help us thrive. It was new and fresh. This was about 2 years ago when ChatGPT just started booming. A little less than a year into the initiative, I started seeing how damaging it was. Images came out with questionable quality, but were still delivered to big clients. Only Stable Diffusion and retouchers were used, no photographers, models, etc. It also became more and more clear how damaging AI was to the environment, and how most models are trained on stolen material. I started speaking out against it in the company. I left the company before the mass layoffs started. Only people who specialized in AI were kept on the teams. None of the colleagues I personally know that were laid off have been able to find new jobs due to the industry being flooded with AI jobs. I went and got a job as an in-house designer at a company that prides itself on being sustainable. Not having to work with AI was refreshing. But now it's started there too. Mass layoffs are starting too. Our company doesn't seem to care about the environmental impact, how they will be accused of greenwashing if they openly use generative AI, how their advertisements will lose their human touch. Then you open LinkedIn to find vacancies, and 90% of creative jobs are now AI lead design, AI animator, AI illustrator. We're losing our humanness to AI. Creativity is part of what makes us human. The pride you feel when a piece of you, your creativity, your craft is showcased, is now being replaced by a machine that trained itself on thousands of images online from people that never consented to have their work used to train AI. Copywriting that loses its little touch of human warmth, AI models and videos that look human enough to fool people, but feel off enough to make you uncomfortable. Connection is part of being human. Having your friend tell you that you're being an idiot sometimes, finding similarities in the way you experience life, both the good and bad, rather than being coddled by a machine that never had a human experience or emotion. This whole AI surge really feels like a Black Mirror episode to me. How sad that we replace the things that makes being human so fun and unique, like creativity and connection, with machines. This is a powerful and sobering perspective. It's one thing to talk about AI in theory, but hearing how it's reshaping real careers and creative industries makes it feel much more personal. The emotional and environmental concerns raised here are valid and deserve more attention. At the same time, AI isn't going away, so the bigger question might be, how do we protect human creativity and values in a world where machines are becoming creators too? Can we find a balance, or are we truly losing something essential? Curious to hear other thoughts on this. Another user wrote, "Are you a musician, writer, or filmmaker? Are you worried AI will eliminate your job or destroy creativity? Videos and articles shout doomsday headlines about how AI will replace us or kill us. But can AI replace us? As a writer, musician, and filmmaker, I understand the concerns. I can alleviate some of these. But I also tell it like it is. So here is good news for you. I see two familiar patterns, having worked with this since the 1960s and worked in AI. Technology creates change, but mimicking human emotion and creativity is a stretch for AI. It's not the huge threat to creativity it's professed by some to be. It's more like the threats of TV replacing radio, calculators preventing math learning, and cars sucking the air out of people. New technologies find their place. The creative markets are horribly competitive, and it's easy to get discouraged. However, focusing on continuous learning and creative development offers a far more productive path than dwelling on perceived obstacles. The cream rises to the top in the creative world. AI only mimics the most common content from analyzing the patterns and structures of existing music. Quality rises above all if the public deems it worthy. If we think AI is going to take over because AI gained artificial general intelligence, AGI, to equal humans, it helps to understand the differences between AI and humans. AI only has as much agency as programmers give it. It can't act on its own without robotics. AI is only as knowledgeable as we are collectively. It doesn't create new knowledge, but it can find answers more quickly. AI isn't very creative. It only mimics what people do. AI can analyze emotional responses but doesn't experience emotion. Emotion is felt meaning that comes from real-world experience. The ability to experience emotion or assign it to experience is uniquely human. AI can't develop an independent sense of meaning and purpose. Meaning is a very nebulous affair that often has to do with spirituality. On 5 points of human ability, AI doesn't reach these heights. It only has the agency we give it, only has the knowledge we give it, and can't create new knowledge in the real world. It doesn't have the capacity for felt meaning or emotion, so it has limited capacity for understanding and creating emotion, and it isn't able to be very creative because it lacks the capacity for abstract thought. Without these abilities, AI can't assign value to agency, creating knowledge, especially without robotics and agency, and is limited in creativity. I use AI extensively every day and am always impressed with it. But it assists, doesn't replace. In short, it takes human ability to excel in the creative fields. AI can only mimic. So it maybe can replace lesser artists with limited abilities, but not excellent artists. If you want to read the much longer article or listen to the podcast, see my profile. Any thoughts? This is a refreshing take in the middle of all the AI doom and gloom narratives. It's true, AI is powerful, but it still lacks the emotional depth, purpose, and real-world experience that make human creativity so unique. Tools evolve, but history shows us that technology rarely replaces creativity. It just changes how we express it. The reminder that AI assists, it doesn't replace, is a powerful one. Maybe the real challenge isn't fighting AI, but growing alongside it. What do you think? Can great art still thrive in the age of AI? Another user added, AI is an incredibly broad field, and it's been used in millions of little and large ways to help people. You often simply don't hear about it, or if you do, it's not labeled as AI, until more recently, where companies love to point out where they do use it. For more specific examples, off the top of my head, AI has been used to transcribe images for those who are blind in real time, gain massive progress in the protein folding problem, predict variants of COVID-19, help predict which areas are most at risk for climate change, find new types of medicine and materials, help those who are disabled express themselves, and by interpreting brain signals for prosthesis. Improve automation in countless factories in a myriad different ways, for example. Selecting apples that have gone bad to automatically remove, help with automatic speech recognition and translation for those who are deaf or don't speak the language, and on and on. Some of these examples, like progress on the protein folding problem and factory automation, started before 2022, but continue to this day. More recent LLMs like ChatGPT have helped people in thousands of silent ways that you probably will never hear about. ChatGPT alone was the fastest growing website for a while, and last year had more than 1 billion visits per month. Even in its current state, where ChatGPT has a lot of issues and kinks to be worked out, still millions of people use ChatGPT, asking it for advice, help with work like coding or sending emails, business or creative ideas like essays and logo designs or catchphrases, neurodivergent and neurotypical people asking for help on social issues, a form of therapy for those who can't afford a therapist, a form of tutoring for those who can't afford a tutor, a way to organize and structure thoughts, help with research and productivity, again, on and on. One last thing to keep in mind is that AI is still an emerging technology, and it's been rapidly progressing in the last couple of years. As more and more research and scaling is done, more and more of today's problems with AI will be solved, and the more capable AI will become in the future, meaning more avenues and ways it can help people. This is a great reminder that AI isn't just about art, jobs, or scary headlines. It's also quietly transforming lives in really meaningful ways. From accessibility tools and medical breakthroughs to language translation and even emotional support, AI is already helping millions in ways we rarely hear about. It's easy to focus on the fears, but it's also worth recognizing the human good AI can enable when used responsibly. The real question might not be, is AI good or bad? But how do we make sure it's used for the right things? Thoughts? On Quora, the divide is philosophical. One writer said, AI hasn't ruined creativity. It's just removed the struggle part. But sometimes struggle is where real art comes from. Another replied, AI can remix what already exists, but it can't feel. And without emotion, is it really creativity? On YouTube, creators are voicing concern and excitement. Comments under videos like "I used AI to make my short film" include, "It looks cool, but something about it feels hollow. This helped me tell stories I never had the time or budget to make. I'm all in." A 2023 Pew Research survey found that 52% of Americans believe AI will reduce human creativity in the long run. Meanwhile, schools, publishers, and even film studios are trying to draw boundaries. But the tech is moving faster than the rules. In the gaming industry, AI-generated environments are speeding up production. In visual art, some artists are adding 100% human-made to their bios. And in journalism, some outlets are now replacing writers with AI-generated news blurbs. The line between creator and consumer is blurring. Why it's so divisive? Here's the truth. AI is changing creativity, not just how we make things, but who gets to make them. Some argue it's leveling the playing field. Others say it's drowning out real talent. The fear? That human voices will be lost in a flood of auto-generated content. The hope? That AI can be a co-creator, not a competitor. But one thing's for sure. The creative world will never be the same. Pros of AI in creativity. Removes technical barriers for beginners. Speeds up workflows for professionals. Sparks new ideas and rapid iteration. Makes creativity more accessible. Cons people mention. Loss of artistic identity or originality. Ethical issues, like plagiarism or dataset bias. Job replacement in writing, design, music, and voiceover. Oversaturation of low-effort content. So, is AI ruining creativity? Here's the internet's verdict. It depends on how you use it. To some, AI is a crutch. To others, it's a canvas. But if creativity is about expression, then maybe the real question is, are we still the ones expressing ourselves? Now it's your turn. Have you used AI to create something? Did it feel real? Or do you think we're entering a future where art loses its heart? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe for more deep dives into internet debates just like this one. Next time, we're tackling another hot-button topic everyone's arguing about online.